Okay, it's 6 o'clock. I'll call this meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Kara, can you do roll call, please?
President Bucher,
Here.
Trustee Young,
Present.
Trustee Hopkins,
Here.
Trustee Gant,
Here.
Trustee Faber,
Here.
Trustee Polly,
Here.
Trustee Barheit. Thank you.
Did we meet open meeting compliance?
Yes, the agendas were posted on the village website and at Village Hall last Thursday, December 12th.
Great. Okay, trustees, do I have approval of the agenda sequence?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, we will go into public comments. Okay. Please address the board, and there is a 3-minute limit. Mr. Wilkham, please come forward, state your name and address for the record. And please be sure to speak into the microphone so we can hear you.
This thing working?
Yes.
My name is Chris Welcome. I live at 422 North School Street in Silver Lake. I'd like to commend this board for a bunch of the fine things they have done for the village of Salem. It seems like I come to these village board meetings and during citizens' comments, we hear a lot of negative things. And that doesn't sit well with me. We don't live in a perfect world, okay? I mean, we could live in Russia, Ukraine. They don't even know if they're going to have a home tomorrow. So I would like to commend this board. And I know a lot of you people by faces over the years, except for you, Mr. Polly. And let's keep it that way, sir. No. But thank you for the Christmas parade that you helped put on and the businessmen that took part in it. We have some people here in the audience I know that took part in the parade. There's some other things you've done. You've done some things. Didn't you have a dance thing? I know you can't comment or anything on that. You had a dance thing here. There's certain things in this village that are positive things for people. And I think there needs a little fine tuning on some people that work for the village. But, you know, as far as what they have done and, you know, threatens with citations and things, we have to work together. So on that note, remember, we're not going to say your time's up. You're just going to on that note, I bid all of you a very Merry Christmas and thank you for your time.
Thank you. I just want to also add that Silver Lake Happenings put the Christmas parade on. So I just want to make sure that they get the recognition for that. They do a lot of great things. So, but we did have some participation from the village. Okay, Mr. Woodkey, please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
James Woodkey, 22416 88th Street. And it goes to the whole board here, but a lot of you spend time and a lot of effort and come very well prepared to the meetings. And I appreciate that because I don't think anybody in the audience really wants to be wasting time listening to questions that maybe should have been asked prior to the meeting, maybe have asked to the village administrator who could ask the department about what the issue is in question. But some people don't come prepared and it's obvious. And it is really kind of, it's a little sad. But, you know, It's not everyone. I'm not picking on anyone in particular, and I'm not saying it's the whole board. So you can, if you look around, I think sometimes somebody will roll their eyes or kind of shake their head, and we do see that out here, and we agree with you sometimes. So, and the other one would be, this definitely isn't the place to air personal grievances about something, whether it's with a department, whether it's with a particular employee, or it's with somebody in the public. As trustee members, I expect you to try and respect everybody and be willing to listen to all, even though sometimes it's really difficult. My dad used to say, when he was around, he'd say, you know what, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, no matter how stupid it is. So, just try and keep that in mind and keep things moving quicker in the meetings. A lot of people will be happier.
Thank you. Mark Rogers, please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Mark Rogers, 7819 288th Street. I wanted to talk about the extension of the cabaret license for New Year's real quick. I went around and got, well, 2 of the bars are mine, but I got 8 other bars to sign saying that it would be nice to be able to extend our hours for New Year's, as we know that the cutoff time was New Year's on a Wednesday this year. When is that?
Tuesday night.
So it would be
Tuesday.
it would be 10 o'clock during the week for our cabaret, and ball drops at 12. So we'd like to go till 1 if we could. And all these gentlemen on here agreed as well. So I got Ralph's, Whiskey Business, Sandlots, George's, Copper Bottom, Kelly's, Town Square, 1903, Packer Inn, and I'm sure I could have got a lot more. It's just what I did in a few hours the other day. So would hope you guys would take it into consideration that we would like to throw parties all over the place and be legal doing it with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, for president's comments, I have 2 items. The first that I would like to mention, and I've already addressed this with our fire department, but I received a very nice compliment on a fire call that our department went to in Brighton, I think around 3 a.m. on one of the days last week. And the residents had all great things to say about how professional we were and how much empathy and care that our responding members took. So I just want to say that that is very nice to hear. And I wanted to recognize that in a public setting. So thank you. And the second thing is tonight, I am going to be bringing forth the Economic Development Committee proposal. And we will go through that when we come to that item, but there is, I do have applications if anyone is interested afterwards to come see me or contact Sarah or Cassandra if it passes tonight, if you're interested in serving on that. Okay, with that, we will go into number 8. And please bear with me. Presentations, petitions, communications, discussion and possible action on the following. 8.1 Ordinance 2024.12-88, creating Chapter 159 entitled Economic Development Committee of the Village of Salem Lakes Municipal Code, creating a code review committee and establishing procedures for its operation.
Motion to approve. I'll second it.
Okay, trustee Hopkins and trustee Faber. And I'm going to open it up for discussion.
You have a mind for us?
Do I have a what?
Do you have a mind of this being to bring in housing developments and that type of thing? Or are you looking more for business and that type of thing?
Well, this would be sorry, a group effort. And it spells it out in the ordinance on what the responsibilities would be. And I don't know if we have that ordinance to put on the screen. But I can go through that. Just one second. Okay. Yep. Yes. All right. So the purpose of the committee is to, it's to help alleviate some of the, strain on the staff and also to work with the public, and, anyone wanting to come into our community. Obviously, as this board, I think we're all in our plan commission, we are all interested in businesses that and growth that will benefit our community and fit within our community. I'm not really interested in big box stores or anything like that, but we do need some development to help support things like our schools and our fire department. And so smart development, and this committee would help to vet some of that to help, seek out developers and help expedite development plans, assist and involve staff as appropriate. Cassandra would be an advisory, she'd be part of it as an advisory member. And they will help to identify grants to help expand some of our programs and seek new businesses. Working with outside partnerships such as CABA to help facilitate. We have some open space still in our business park that we're looking to fill. And then one of the bigger things that we've all talked about is we talked about it a lot actually in our budget meetings was reviewing our ordinances in our zoning districts. So if you all remember, we had line items in the budget to go to an outside source for that, and it was costly. And so hopefully this committee can help offset some of that by going through that and helping to identify some of the things that maybe need to be, fixed or changed a little bit to be, to work better for what we're looking for and make suggestions on those. And hopefully then that will help to draw in some of the development that we need. We haven't had anything going on in quite a while. Housing is a necessary thing that we need. So that would be, mainly that. And then the makeup of the committee would be the village president, one village board trustee, one current plan commission member, and then 2 members of the community that are either a resident, an owner of a business located within the village, or a property owner within the village. So, and that's important because I think they can bring a perspective to what the community wants. And, the other, I think that it would be important to get feedback from our community on what they would like to see, what they would not like to see. So this committee would take all of that into consideration when they're working and looking at things. And again, that is to be a help to our staff to help do some of the smaller things that, to get things ready before it goes in front of the plan commission. So that is basically the gist of it. And there would be terms. So it would be by appointment with confirmation by the board, just like any other committee. It is I propose to be a paid committee at the same rate that any of our other boards and commissions get paid. And they would have monthly meetings that would be open to the public. So they would take public comments just like we do. They would have minutes just like we do. Any other questions or comments?
Madam President, the only addition to this would be on page 9, under committee makeup. I would
ask that we add an alternative seat in the event one of the primary stakeholders couldn't make it. An alternate could fill in.
Does anyone have any comment on that?
That's a good idea.
I'm in agreement with it.
Yeah, I'm in favor.
I like that.
So the only thing with that I thought is that they would have to be, I guess the plan commission does have an alternate too, so. I don't oppose that.
We can still go through with the resolution tonight and the ordinance with that minor addition, couldn't we, Ramsey?
Yeah, could pass something subject to, that further amendment. So to clarify though, so your plan commissions are, unlike this, statutorily required. And so they probably do, through the statutes that have to look, would have a provision to have, an alternate committee member. Now with this, how do you envision it? Is this alternate member stepping in if someone is absent for, just one meeting? Or are they stepping in if the person is going to be out for, quite a while?
I guess I look at it as either or. But it would be not so much the board president or the village trustee, or not even the planning commission member, but it's more the two stakeholders is where I'm going. If one of those two stakeholders couldn't make it, would the alternate sit in and go from there?
Well, the composition is up to the board when designing a committee. And I think, as I understand from Madam President, she's spent quite a bit of time trying to develop this and looking at what other communities do. And so when you have a proposal here, first of all, you want an odd number in case there's a vote. And obviously they're just a recommending body, but even if you're a recommending body, it's nice to have an odd number so they're not always locked, right? And so the idea to have 5 members, we also have to weigh in the fact that you can't have more than 2 of you on this committee at any given time, because then we're going to run into open meeting problems. I think it's a great idea to have a plan commission member, because ultimately they've got the pulse on the plan commission, comprehensive plan of the village, and then also to bring in 2 stakeholders. So the concern is if we're going to add an alternate, where is the alternate coming from?
Stakeholders.
The community stakeholder.
You're still going to be left with 5 voting members.
True. I think that that's doable. I'm just trying to make sure, I mean, we can certainly craft the language and help you get there. So the alternate would there would be an alternate stakeholder stepping in for any particular absence.
Yeah.
And would you have them, I mean, they would be there for all meetings as well? Or just they would be called in when someone has an absence, whether it's one evening or I'm gonna be gone for the next 3 meetings because I'm I have a part-time home in Florida.
Yeah, nothing would stop them from sitting in on all the meetings. You just
True.
don't vote.
Right.
That's true.
That's how the plan commission works
Okay.
now, so.
We could, if that is the will of the board, we can build that in. And so you could pass this subject to making that amendment. And then we would bring it back.
Okay. What does everybody think about that? And are there any other questions or comments?
As long as they're not voting, they're just participating or coming to.
Yeah, they would only vote if needed, if there was an absence. Mhm. I think that would be okay.
Then I would rescind my motion of earlier and make a motion to approve the economic development ordinance 2024-12-88, amending amending the committee makeup and adding a fifth, number 5, one alternate member,
Stakeholder.
stakeholder, yes. And I'll say.
Okay, so we have a first and a second. Any other questions or comments? No. Do we have to do a roll call on this because it's creating a new committee, or can we just do a?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, adding the one alternate. Okay. Jared,
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins.
Yes.
Mr. Gant,
Yes.
Mr. Faber,
Yes.
Mr. Polly,
Yes.
and Mr. Barheit.
Yes.
And I'm a yes, motion carries. We'll move on. Number 9, Treasurer's Office, discussion and possible action on the following. 9.1, approval of vouchers disbursements for November 2024 in the amount of $675,225.57 as presented.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Questions, comments?
I have a question, Madam Chairman, on check number 74059. To amount $1,296. It's got something to do with dog tags.
That is the payout to Kenosha County yearly for dog tags. We pay them every year. We keep a share and they get a share.
So that's a normal thing that's.
Correct. That's the end of the year reconciliation for 2024.
Will they provide us with the dog tags?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now I know what it is.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Great. 9.2, Treasurer's Report.
Good evening. Hi, I just wanted to give you guys a little report of revenue and expenditures for the month of November. It was a pretty hefty document, so I just kind of wanted to breeze through it real quick. We're at about 92% revenue right now. I believe the report said lower than that, but we received our shared revenue payment, so we're up. So we should hopefully reach revenues as to what they were projected. The second part of that is the budget summary, and I kind of just wrapped up the general fund for you guys. As a whole, we're pretty close to even. At the end of November, we were at about 400,000, I think, still left in the bank. So projected, we have about, I think it's like 175 left. So we should be okay. We're gonna break even, which is awesome. Love to hear that. And that's about it. And we started tax collection, so it's wild here, but it's great.
Okay.
Thank you. Any
Thanks.
questions?
Thanks, man.
No, thanks.
Thank you, Amanda.
All right, number 10, Clerk's Office, discussion and possible action on the following. 10.1, approval of minutes from December 2nd, 2024 board meeting.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, any questions or comments? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. 10.2, approval of applications filed with the clerk for an operator license and alcohol licensing with approval contingent on background check clearance, completion of beverage server class, and payment of the necessary fees. Operators as presented and Class A beer and Class A liquor, cigarette, tobacco license as presented.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay. Hopkins and Polly, any questions? Right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? 10.3, extension of cabaret license hours on New Year's Eve, 2024.
Like to make a motion that we allow the extension
To what time?
I'll second that.
to 1 AM.
And Dennis, you're,
Take a roll call on that, please.
yes. Any other questions or comments on this? Okay. Mr. Barheit,
Yes.
Mr. Polly,
Yes.
Mr. Faber,
Yes.
Mr. Gant,
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins.
Yes.
Mr. Young,
Abstain.
and I'm a yes. Motion carries 6 to 0 to 1. All right, number 11, Public Works, discussion and possible action on the following. 11.1, replacement of variable frequency drive VFD for influent pump 1 at the wastewater treatment plant for $13,913.56 from LW Allen.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, Hopkins and Young, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Number 12, Administrator's Office, discussion and possible action on the following. 12.1, review of policy setting the procedures and minimum thresholds for quotes, bidding, and procurement of goods and services over $50,000.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Hopkins and Gant. Any questions or comments?
Do we have any existing policy that we're changing here?
This was at the board's direction. You had asked for us to create a policy so that we make sure we go out for bid on larger items. And so that's what this is. It's for all non-construction related contracts for goods and services.
Is 50,000 the standard? I thought it was 25,000.
I think we kind of talked about like, vehicles and all sorts of things could kind of be pushing up at 50,000 and we
Okay.
maybe would hog tie administration and staff if we were to be too low
Sure.
with that. But then we do have, like, if you remember, some number of months back, we did pass like $5,000 limits, individual limits and
For
things like
credit.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Understood. I do remember that, Mr. Hopkins.
Okay, any other questions or comments on this? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Number 13, closed session. 13.1, the village board may consider a motion to convene into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute 19.85 sub 1 sub C and sub F for purposes of considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, and considering financial, medical, social, or personal histories or disciplinary data of specific persons, preliminary consideration of specific personnel problems, or the investigation of charges against specific persons, except where paragraph B applies, which, if discussed in public, would be likely to have a substantial adverse effect upon the reputation of any person referred to in such histories or data or involved in such problems or investigations. Specifically, this closed session will relate to discussion of specific village personnel matters and possible options to address the same.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Hopkins and Barheit. Trustee Young. Trustee Hopkins.
Yes.
Trustee Gant.
Yes.
Trustee Faber.
Yes.
Trustee Polly.
Yes.
Trustee Barheit.
Yes.
And I'm a yes. We are in closed session. Okay. .2, the village board will reconvene into open session following this closed session and may, if appropriate, take action on items discussed in closed session. We had a motion by trustee Barheit, second by trustee Hopkins to go into open session. It was a unanimous vote. And there is nothing to report.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Who was the second? Hopkins and Barheit. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed?